Hi. Okay. So what I'm showing you here is the project layer of CMS. Projects in CMS is really the upper layer of the body of work. You really don't get into the, let's say, RPG source file until you get into what I call a service request, which is where you will see the RPG source member. Projects is really just a way to organize your work, a way to add some sort of version control into your work, to categorize it. However, you want to divide and separate, organize, tag, if you want to call it that, your work. You do it at the project level. At the project level, I have these two definitions called project name and project level. You can use it any way you want. Here, I use it where I define my project name as kind of the product or the application that I'm working on. And then I use the project level to kind of denote like where I'm at within the development of that application. So here there was an open source product that I liked and downloaded it, put it in CMS, and just made a project name and a project level of all zeros just to say, hey, this is just where my work is. But you can see here underneath of it, I have a project called C2N, which I called copy to new. There was a point in time in my life where, there was a lot of acquisitions going on. You had to make sure that you copy the right data, or receive data that you had to inject into your application. So there's a lot of different techniques on copying the data to from. And as you can see, all the project names are the same, but I used a project level to denote its evolution, where I go from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You can call it a version, call it whatever you want, but again, there's really no hard definitions of what they mean. You can use it for whatever you want. And then again, as I denote it with the CBX, there's something, at least for me, it was big. It still is big. The marriage of RPG and Java, or vice versa, Java and RPG, Java calling RPG, RPG calling Java. All my work and my examples are in a project called Java RPG. So that way I just have a body of work where I can just say, oh yeah, I had a program that did that, and I can pull it from that project. And so I have that. And then underneath of it, one of, as well as CMS, but one of my other big personal projects is something, menu system, and that has gone through many evolutions. Project name has remained the same. Project level, again, I use that to denote its evolution. And then in the description, I define like what version, what release, what modification that evolution has gone into. And then what I started to do, because all of my work in a single level, it was getting really big. So what I started to do was make the project name and the project level, but then kind of separate the project levels as to what I was doing in it. As you can see here, menu sys 0300S. I wanted to create a way to save menus off a system and restore it to another system. So I created a project name and level just to hold that body of work. As well as here, 0300D, I created a project name and level to hold a body of work named move job link and static linked to main driver. And then I created a project name and level just to hold all my fixes. As I find something broken and it's just classified as a fix, I created a project for that. So I evolved from just simple the evolution and the growth of it and trying to versionize it that way into something where it's like, hey, here's all my fixes. Here's a body of work, a concentration of very focused effort on a series of changes within menu system. And then here you can see some other projects where work has evolved from, I'll call it version 1 to version 2. And then here under this TAS001 project name, I used the system to basically say, here's where I have my fixes. I'll call it under version 1. Here's where I'm trying to do some FTP source files, TCP, some objects, send some save files. And then as the applications evolved, database changes, more fixes in the version 2, all my code related to journaling. So again, you can use projects any way you want. But again, it allows you to take a body of work and then organize it any way you want. So that is projects.